Steven Shakur puts on a virtuoso boxing performance, nearly a shutout. Edgar Berlanga gets gutted in 5. Let's go.
I know you won't swing, but this is the Parry.
This is the Parry.
Hook getting uppercut is getting scary.
It's getting scary.
Treasure the truth or risk getting buried.
Risk getting
I'm
killed.
on a mission, you hear me? Yeah, this is the Parry.
This is
They
the
got
Parry.
the green light if we say go.
Go.
Young Tyson, wake him up with the BK flow. Loading up late rounds, this is TKO.
Yo.
Yeah, it's all in the game, this ain't EA though.
Hey, yo.
Grew up under bright lights where of course it's hot.
Course is hot.
Punchlines, we don't
Yeah. All right. Once again, we are back with another quick jab off the Parry. You already know I am the pragmatic. And let's get into this, man. Last night, William Zepeda. Well, before we even get into that, you know, we had my man who returned coming off of a tough loss. My man, Sabrio Mateus. You know what I mean? Mateus came back to dethrone the previously unbeaten WBC super lightweight champ Alberto Puello. You know what I mean? Very close fight. You know what I mean? Very close decision. You know, it was a unanimous. Actually, it was a majority decision. One of the judges actually had the fight a draw. It was actually that close with the winning cards. That would be the junior welterweight champion. You know, and the WBC has the super and the IBF does the juniors. You know, but William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson put on actually gave Zepeda 1 round, but I couldn't see him winning any more than 2 rounds in that fight. Afterwards, Shakur Stevenson took to the press conference and took the opportunity to call out longtime rival Gervonta Tank Davis, who we know he's dealing with some legal issues right now. We hope everything works out for the best. I hope he's not. I hope he didn't do what they're saying he did, because if he did, then we have a serious problem with this man. But you know, I'm you know, you're innocent until proven guilty. You know, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Hold your head. We'll see how that goes. But Shakur Stevenson took to the press conference to call out Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, in his fight, because Shakur Stevenson has been ridiculed for being too defensive minded, for even some say running around in the ring. And I'm pretty sure he heard a lot of that. And this maniac turkey, this dude's a maniac. I'm gonna talk about him later though. We've endorsed him on this platform, calling him the Emperor, and he is an emperor. You know what I'm saying? And if you remember Star Wars, the Emperor had to go at the end. His ass had to go. So we're gonna get into Turk. I'm gonna do a whole nother video. We're gonna talk about this guy. We're gonna give you the truth. I'm really gonna talk about him. But right now, you know, we know that the Turk was talking all that foolishness, that Tom and Jerry foolishness. Oh, we gonna get a shrinking ring, like he's getting in the ring actually fighting. You know, like he has the ability. You're a fan. You're a spectator. Enjoy. You're a spectator with a large wallet who's able to make things happen. Stay in your lane, brother. So, anyway, we seen Shakur now. He was in the pocket. You know, I really standing toe to toe with him. Oh, real quick, that was my Earth with a thank you. Today is my old Earth birthday. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. So shout out to my old Earth, Carol Washington, on her special day, on her birthday today. That's right. Clap it up. All right. So, here we go. Back to what I was saying. Stevenson was definitely in a great performance, and a matchup with him and Gervonta Davis. A lot of people would have been picking Gervonta, but I've been saying this: if somebody's going to beat him, if someone can fight that perfect fight, it would be Shakur Stevenson. And after seeing the fight with Frank Martin and Davis has to they have to run that back, and after that, then we can get into something with Shakur. But after seeing his life or death struggle with Frank Martin in that draw, I highly doubt either one of those fighters would defeat Shakur Stevenson. And I could be wrong, and maybe we'll get some great round robin and see these guys all swap gloves in the ring. But I just look at Stevenson as his talent level is just, it's almost a head and shoulders above the rest of these guys. When you see him in the ring, some of the little nuances that he can do in the ring. And then, he has some of the greatest, boxers in his corner, supporting him. He got Andre Ward, he got Bud Crawford, he even has Clarissa Shields, the GOAT. So he has a great support system of fighters that's in him. In fact, if you ask me, you're talking about all elite number one, the best. Clarissa Shields, she is the absolute number one women's boxer in the world, head and shoulders. It's not a debate, not a question. Then you have Bud Crawford, who is pound for pound the number one boxer in the world right now. That's without a question. And then you have Andre Ward, let's be real. Andre Ward, and his career, was around the time of Mayweather's career, and we was dealing with the Mayweather era. But Andre Ward, we never really seen him look bad in a fight. We never really seen him in a lot of trouble, with the exception of the Kovalev fight. We haven't really seen him in a lot of trouble, and he was able to come back in that fight, and in the second fight knocked his ass out, showing the improvement. That's what a true champion does. You adjust and come back with improvements. But I definitely think he has a great support system. You're talking about Shakur Stevenson, and I don't see anybody beating him in the near future. I don't see anybody out there. There are some upcoming fights, and that could play well. But as of right now, his skill seems to really be. He seems to lead the pack in his athleticism and ability, as well as his boxing IQ. Okay. And now we get into the co-main event. And the co-main event was Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Sheeraz. And, most people, I guess, were expecting Berlanga to retain his title and win the championship. But, Hamza Sheeraz was no mutt. He's no mutt. He came to fight. We seen in his last fight, he had that... He had the draw in his last fight, which was the only blemish on his record, which came against. He had the draw in his record when he went up to fight Carlos Adamez, and other than that, the guy's record is basically perfect with no actual losses in the loss column. His record advanced after that fight to his record advanced to 22-0 with the one draw, 18 KOs, while Edward Berlanga now drops down to 23-5 with 18 KOs. We've seen the fight. Now let's get into the fight. The fight, Edgar came out a little aggressive. He had some nice side-to-side movement, was trying to give him some angles. He had a very, very much better tools in that box when he pulled them out. He had a lot more to work with than Berlanga. Now Berlanga, I'm just gonna say this, my Puerto Rican brother. I understand, you have relationships outside of the ring with different entertainers and everything, but you should have knew not to walk out that ring with Fat Joe. That right there, when you walked out the ring with Fat Joe, that right there was an automatic, you're going to get your ass kicked. And if you don't believe me, just remember what happened when he was over there messing around in the Yankees locker room. You understand? Go ask the Yankees what happened. Oh, that's not good enough? You remember the Knicks, right? The Knicks? Yeah, they was just there. You seen what happened to him, and he was there front row every game. And I wanted the Knicks to win. But we see what happened to the Knicks. They didn't go, you know why? This guy, right here. And on top of that, not only did you have Fat Joe walk you out, but you came out with Fat Joe and possibly one of the most hated women right now in entertainment, Remy Ma. You said it was a recipe for a disaster, brother. A recipe for disaster. You know. So all fighters for the future, if you're Puerto Rican or if you're just from the Bronx in New York, you know, maybe you want to pick a Joel Ortiz, or maybe you just want to find another rapper, even a KRS-One, just anyone from the Bronx. But stay away from Fat Joe. And I will put Remy on that list too, just because of affiliation, association, and just situation. But just a message to all boxers and anybody in any type of sport. I don't care if you play tennis. If Fat Joe is in the crowd and he's rooting for you, you're probably going to lose. You're probably going to lose. Golf, whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing. So just keep that in mind. And that's my time for right now. But, don't forget to punch all on that like button. Hook off on that subscribe. And toss around that share for the God. You know what I'm saying? Toss around that share for the boxing God, Che Black, the pragmatic. And we will be back again with another quick jab off the Parry. And let me know what you think in the comments and all that good stuff. And we out.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.